So thank you to both of you for being here today. I'm excited to chat with you both. I know, Vera, we did with Melanie a webinar for metabolic balance last year in December. I can't believe it's been that long already, but I'm excited to have a little bit more of that conversation and just hear about metabolic balance, kind of like the boots on the ground version. How does it play out for practice? I'm excited to get into those nuts and bolts with you both. So if we could, to start, Vera, do you maybe want to kick things off, give a bit of an introduction to yourself? Maybe I'll come over to Jen and have you introduce yourself, and then we can get into all the goods about metabolic balance.
Yes, absolutely. I would love that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having us here today. I'm really excited, and I'm really happy about our connection, and we've been working together for quite some time now, so it's been lovely. And yeah, so my name is Vera, and I'm the CEO of Metabolic Balance in Canada. I brought the program over from Germany in 2011 when I got the license as natural license holder, basically for Canada. And ever since then, I am looking for, for coaches, for new coaches for nutritionists or other practitioners like naturopathic doctors and anybody who is basically in the holistic field who would like to implement metabolic balance as an extra tool into their practice, or even if they start out, basically just have a tool to get right out there in the market and feel confident and see results. So I'm really, really passionate about metabolic balance. It's been amazing to see the transformations for clients, especially, and of course, also for the coaches who really could make a great living by doing something good to the world. That's just our vision, and I hope everybody who ever talked to me or touched base with anybody in our metabolic balance family got that feeling. Yeah, so I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited that Jen is joining as well today. She's one of the most successful coaches. She's super passionate and has so many success stories and changed lives. And of course, I mean, it's not that you need metabolic balance to do your nutritional consulting. That's absolutely not. There's so many ways out there to help people, and we are all, having the same goal. It's just a tool that makes the life easier for the practitioner, and that's, our goal. Yeah. So I think that's good, maybe good for now from me, and then I'm just gonna jump into when Jen is speaking, and if you have any questions, maybe I don't know if there's a chat box if somebody has a question.
Yeah, definitely. So as we get going, Jen, I'll give you a chance in just a second to introduce yourself, but I see there's a few of you here live now. So if you do have specific questions about metabolic balance or any of the topics surrounding it that come up during the course of this discussion, please do use the Q&A box, and I'll monitor there to see if there's any questions. So if anything comes in live, then I can pose that either to Vera or Jen, whichever one of you makes the most sense. So for those of you who are here live, definitely make use of that. But we did have a bunch of members in Networking Nutritionists who are going to be watching the replay, and several of them sent us in some questions in advance. So I've got those queued up as well. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of metabolic balance, Jen, can I come back over to you and have you introduce yourself, maybe a little bit about how you got involved and what metabolic balance has meant for your practice?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today. So yeah, I actually touched base with Vera quite a few years ago. So a little background on myself: I have been a registered holistic nutritionist for over 10 years. That path has led me to coach mostly nutrition and fitness. So I've been coaching nutrition and fitness, and then I decided actually during early 2020, when I was actually running a fitness facility and running fitness and nutrition programs, the facility shut down, of course, as many things did in 2020. But I had been connected with Vera years prior, and metabolic balance really resonated with me. It really aligned with me from a holistic approach. I love that everything was done very personalized to the individual client. So it is, you know, their nutrition plan is based on the chemistry of their blood work. It's individual. It's not a blanket approach. It's not a one size fits all. So I really, really love that approach when it comes to working with my clients. You're able to dig a little bit deeper. Sometimes clients presenting issues to you that once you actually dive in a little deeper, you do a full panel of labs and things are a little bit more open and presented. And then that's what creates the actual nutrition plan. So always very much aligned with me. I also really valued that it wasn't a company where the primary source of income was you have to buy their supplements or their protein shakes, or there's nothing like that. It really is just an approach to actually help and support people in their health. That's genuinely what their whole concept. And also what they've decided to do for decades now, right? Like it's been well over 25 years that they've been doing this. So fast forward, I was actually able to become certified. I wasn't obviously having like the busy life inside, you know, the club that I was working at. So I had a great opportunity to become certified. I started to notice family and friends were struggling a little bit during the pandemic, right? It seemed like everybody and their neighbor was just baking bread and drinking wine, and like health was kind of falling to the wayside. And so I actually initially decided to become certified to support friends and family. My intention was I'm going to use this program just to kind of support those around me, understand it a little bit better. And then it was just going to be what I did until I went back to work. And at that point, I had no idea that it was going to be this impactful for my family, for my friends, for those that I was helping and supporting, but also for myself. It was absolutely astonishing and eye-opening to truly how effective this program was. So the long story short, when it came time for me to go back to work, I actually replaced myself. I hired someone else to take over and I resigned. And I actually now am at a place where I only offer this program because of everything I've done in the past. I haven't done anything as impactful and rewarding as the results with the Metabolic Balance program. So here I am. It's 2 years later, actually almost exactly since I started, and it's been amazing. It's been really rewarding for my clients and for myself. I have a nice flexible schedule. I get to work from home, and I work with clients virtually now, which I've never done before. I always thought it had to be that in person, come to my office, let's discuss. And now I work virtually, so I have clients actually literally all over the world. So yeah, it's been really good.
Wow, that's so exciting that all of that happened in the span of just a couple of years.
Yeah, it's crazy and it's exciting.
Amazing. So last year, I mentioned before, Vera, last year we did a webinar style presentation for networking nutritionists about metabolic balance. And Melanie was there. It showed us lots of the how it works sort of things. So we still have that webinar available in Networking Nutritionist for replay. If you want to know more about metabolic balance, which would be why you're here or probably why you're watching the replay later, that one is still available. Lots of good information there too. The purpose for today is just to be a little bit more conversational, get some of this behind the scenes, Vera, for you with introducing metabolic balance into Canada and some of maybe the details around that, what it all encompasses. And then Jen, for you as a practitioner who has had this amazing transformation in the last couple of years, what that's been like and maybe what other nutritionists could expect as well. So can I turn it back over to you, Vera, for a little bit and let you just give a little bit of an overview about what metabolic balance is and maybe how nutritionists would get involved?
Absolutely, yes. And I just noticed I missed that because I was just basically thinking, oh, everybody knows what it is. But no, of course not if you have never heard about it, which is certainly possible, right? So we are basically a company that helps to create customized meal plans based on clients' blood chemistry, health history, personal details, and food dislikes and likes. So you as a coach will get access to our back office where you can you have a client admin and you can enter your client's data as well as the blood work, which we have all set up for you. We have a medical doctor who's working with us, so the blood work is all done. And then you just enter all the details into the computer system and send it off to the head office, and you receive a booklet which is made for only for your client, just like a fingerprint. Every person is different. Every person needs different, foods, different quantities, different micronutrients. And it's just so amazing. Like if you, for example, have a client that, wants to lose weight, but has thyroid issues and certain other things, then the system will actually pick out the foods that are great for that person, any deficiencies. Of course, there will not be any soy products, for example, if there's thyroid medication. So all those things that you would usually have to think in your head, what can I give them? What are, all that thing, you have to consider that. Not anymore now, because it's all done for you, and it's done by a medical doctor. The doctor who founded it was all about prevention of diseases, and his goal was to help people with nutrition, because what else would be, best to prevent things? It's all about the food. Yeah, so it's really a tool that you can use, and 15 minutes you have a meal plan that really just is made for your client. And of course, it's not exclusive. If you have other programs, you can certainly choose, and whatever client matches with metabolic balance. There might be some people that think it's too expensive, or it's too strict of an approach, or they just want to have a quick fix. So it's totally up to the coach what to offer.
Okay. And as a nutritionist, can you share a little bit, how would you go about becoming certified and able to offer metabolic balance to your clients?
Yeah, so we just basically need, obviously, the coach registration form, and then we would set up the coach with our online course, which is a 3-pillar course. Basically, we have the medical part, which is 16 lessons, video lessons. We always have a quiz and a summary after each module, and also a midterm exam and a final exam. Then, so that has to be passed, and we are approved continuing education providers for almost all the associations and schools in Canada, from IUNC to CANNP, over pretty much any association or school that you could imagine. On our website, we have all our partners listed. So the course will count as continuing education. And then the second part would be the practical part. Each coach will receive their own meal plan and will go through the whole process as a client. So every step is covered, so they know how it works and they can feel the magic of the program on their own body. And then the third part is brand new, and that's when Jen comes into the game again. And I'm going to pass over to her to explain the business part of the whole approach, because we noticed it's really important to pick up the coaches, not just, with the theoretical parts and practical parts, but also nowadays on the business part. So that's included now. So Jen, if you want to share a little bit about your part.
Yes, I would be happy to. Thank you. So yes, to kind of back it up a little bit for any nutritionists who are, if you're just tuning into this video, learning a little bit more, I likely have been where you've been. If you're somebody who's been working on creating custom nutrition plans for your clients, maybe you have them log it in MyFitnessPal or some form of app, and then you check it and you have all of these details back and forth. You have regular appointments. I remember just charging like these hourly rates. It can be a lot of effort, and sometimes it's difficult to really have that, it's just, good revenue for yourself for all of that time that's put in. So what I love about the Metabolic Balance program is, like Vera just said, all of that part is done for you. The nutrition plan is truly the best that's available to them, because it is based on their medical history, if there's deficiencies, imbalances, their blood chemistry. So that piece is done for you, and and I promote it and sell it as a package price point. So you're not just charging after every session for like a 1 hour, right? So really, at the end of the day, it's also been the most rewarding as far as an income goes too, because all like the hard part is really done and taken care of for you. And then you can just put all of your passion and energy into helping people, because if you became a nutritionist, that's what you care about in the first place. So it's really nice. So as far as the business component, you do the first two components. What we recently came up with was actually a course to help all new coaches actually grow their business. So you're passionate, you're excited to help people, you really want to use this as a tool and become certified metabolic balance coach, you pass, you go through the practicals and the exams, you get all certified, and then you're very excited and it's like, okay, so what do I do now? So that's what we've actually created. So oh goodness, I guess it was earlier this year I presented to Vera about creating a business course for the coaches, and so it is included with the metabolic balance program. When you become certified, there's a full 4-module business course. So it will teach you exactly how to market yourself. There's a module on social media. There's a module on templates, on how to provide your clients very easy packages with all of the information that they need. So instead of sending your client each individual, here's your rec form to get your blood work, and here's this form, and here's that form, it's like a one nice and tidy package. There is, just modules on really how to promote yourself, because it's very exciting to become a metabolic balance coach and you get really passionate about the program, especially once you try it for yourself. But then of course you want to get it out there. You have to promote it to people. So that's the third part, is that we really support you on promoting this program and how you're actually going to get it out into your community, how you're going to be able to really promote this, to be able to support others. And then there's ongoing support with the business course as well. So there's regular Zoom meetings. You can connect with other coaches. The last one we had was really great on just ways that other coaches are supporting others, like what they're doing outside of just referrals, right? What are we doing for marketing? How are we taking advantage of, things that are newer, like Instagram lives and just things like that. So it's ongoing for the coaches. There's that ongoing support to be able to continue and help them with the growth of their business. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Can I ask, how's that ongoing support delivered? Because that was one of the questions that we had from the member who is intending to watch on the replay, was if there are weekly or monthly group calls or something like that where coaches can connect once they're already a coach in order to maximize the business side of their practice. So what does that look like? Operationally, how are you all connecting with one another after the initial certification?
Yeah,
basically.
should I? Yeah. We're like, yes, there's lots. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say we are basically a family. It's like really a metabolic balance family. It feels like it because we all see each other like all the time. Like we have roundtables once a month. It's either specific topics, and we invite speakers. Usually it's coaches, or even sometimes, other companies where we get a discount for something for the coaches or whatever it is. But most likely it's always valuable information. Or if it's just a chit chat roundtable for questions, then that's also happening. We have a Facebook group, which is really, really active, and the coaches are helping each other. Like, it's amazing. It's just really amazing. And then of course we have our email support. Literally 24 hours. Even though we try to do Monday to Friday, it is 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah. And yes, and then on top of that, so there's basically the 2 different meetings. The roundtable meetings are fantastic for all of the coaches to connect. I find a lot of the topics in the roundtables are a little bit more on how to support clients. My client has this, how do we support it? And then we also, on top of that, do the regular monthly Zoom meetings that is more focused on the business side. So you would attend this meeting to discuss more about your business, supporting your clients, how to grow your business, how to gain more clients. And then you also have the support of your coaches, your fellow coaches, when it comes to supporting your clients if you have any questions. The Facebook group is amazing. It's amazing because there's so many really helpful coaches who have been coaching for years. And so if you have a unique situation that's been presented to you with a client, you just say, you post it on there, I have this unique situation, what's everybody's feedback? So it's been really helpful.
We also have a new page, it's called the Coach Hub, where we have all frequently asked questions that ever came up. We have launching soon an ebook where we have all the topics and pretty much everything that was collected over the years. So there's resources more and more, and we have an annual update each year. That's usually 2 days, or it used to be 2 days live. Now it's on Zoom with 3 speakers. That's always amazing topics. It's like a little trade show. Hopefully it's going to be a very big trade show at some point. But yeah, there's always connecting things like all the time.
All Okay, good. So I want to go back a little bit because I did have a couple other questions from members that are more on the side of what is metabolic balance before we get too much farther into the business and the coaching side. One of the questions was, what would you say are the three main principles of the Metabolic Balance Program for either of you, whoever wants to jump in?
You can jump in, Jen, when you see it on the clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the three main principles. Okay, so the program initially was designed by Dr. Wolf Funfack in his practice to support clients in his medical practice with metabolic syndrome. So the program was originally designed to support those who were dealing with health issues, right? Maybe had hypertension, high cholesterol, obesity, diabetes. And so this program was really effective in supporting health. So I'd say number one, it's going to be really supportive with one's overall health goals. Now, what happens is when people are fueling their bodies properly and they're supporting their overall health, their body is going to achieve an optimal body weight. So fast forward to today, it really is very well known for a very healthy, holistic approach to weight loss. But it was, like I said, originally it was for those to support those with their health. So I think Vera nailed it when she talked about being on the preventative side of health. Yes, people will come to you with these diagnoses. You can work with them depending on what the diagnosis is. But for any of my clients who are fortunate enough to come to me and they're like, I'm just really struggling with weight loss, but they have no other medical conditions. It's like, this is a perfect opportunity to not take that for granted, right? To say we really just want to prioritize so that you get to remain on the preventative side of health. So health goals, ultimately, weight loss is a primary component, but I would say that what I love most is it's such a holistic and wholesome approach. So your clients can abide by their meal plan by going to their local grocery store or market. It's fueling themselves with whole food. They're not required to be dependent on any type of products per se. So I would say, again, ultimately, having your clients supporting their health, supporting their optimal body weight, when it comes to hormones and trying to get things, well in balance and adjusted. Of course, the number one hormone we're working on supporting and regulating is their insulin, their digestive health, gut health. So so that would be kind of the primary components.
You touched a little bit on the next question that I had that was sent in as well, which was specifically, how is metabolic balance different from other quote unquote weight loss programs? So I guess that focus really on the preventative side makes it quite different from a lot of other things on the market.
Yeah, and
sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, it's also really designed to be a lifestyle. It's not something you go on and you go off. It's something where the clients will be educated. They have to follow certain rules and they have to understand why they follow those rules. They're not just get told, do this, do this, do this. They say that we really explain them. Don't snack in between your meals, for example, or don't, eat 3 different kinds of proteins with one meal. It's just little things that we came up with, of course, proven that will make a difference in their overall journey, and also is easy to implement forever. It's nothing they will do or they will forget after they finish the diet. So I don't even like to say it's a diet. It's really a lifestyle change. And that's, I think, a very, very big component of it in comparison to any other program. Of course, it's individualized to the most extended part it can be. And the coaching is, of course, a very important part as well. And we really, really deliver quality coaches because we know pretty much every single coach in Canada. And I just saw the question popping up, so I'm going to answer that quickly. We are around 550 coaches throughout Canada.
Beautiful.
Yes. And again, just to touch on that, I think that the most important piece is that I've had a lot of clients approach me and they're doing these, well, my friend is doing keto, or my friend's a vegetarian, or this person's and they're just getting so much conflicting information. And so, or it's difficult for them to really determine what aligns with them. But with this program, it's all done for you because the nutrition plan is individual. It's not that one size fits all. It's custom based on their blood chemistry. And then just like Vera had touched on, my goal with clients is a lot of them are very familiar with this all in or all out mentality. I'm either following something or I'm not. And I really work on detaching from that and incorporating a little bit more of a realistic balance, which is why I personally do work with my clients a little bit more long term. This is an option should you become a metabolic balance coach. You can determine the length of time. Personally, I work with my clients for 6 months. So I've developed a 6-month program because my ultimate goal is to see them through to sustainable lifestyle change. I don't want this to be a temporary solution, some sort of short-term quick fix. I really want to see them through to that place of optimal balance that they're comfortable with and they can carry on forever.
So there was a question sent in by Melanie as well in the Q&A box. And it sort of touches on what you just said about how individualized the programs are. She's asking, is there a way to make the meal plans easy for families who might have very different needs?
That's something you can answer, Jen, because I'm sure you have more than one family.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't want to jump in. And that's a really fantastic question. So interestingly enough, I would say just the majority of my clients who I happen to work with, maybe it's just who I align with, the majority of my clients are really busy moms. I'm a busy mom. I have 2 kids. You know, in today's day and age, a lot of, parents, they're working full time, they have kids. They need something that is realistic. They have to be able to integrate it into their life realistically. It cannot be overly difficult, right? That's not when you have sports practice after school and you're helping the kids with homework and then you have meetings, like it needs to be fairly simplified. So a lot of my clients very much appreciate that. The second component when it comes to incorporating families, absolutely. I mean, you basically take the staples of your meal. Will you modify a little bit? For example, I have children, right? So whatever I'm making for my meal, the protein and the veg and everything is the same. I may add a component for the kids, like a potato or a rice or something. Not that that isn't sometimes in the plan too. It is, and it can be, but it really does make it easy so that you can cook for the whole family. You do not have to make separate meals.
Excellent. We had another question as well in this vein, asking about the meal plans that are provided for clients. Does it include complete recipes, or is it just those specific amounts of fruits, vegetables, protein to have with each meal?
Yeah, so I actually provide my clients with multiple recipe books. So these are digital recipe books that they can start to look through and get ideas. A lot of the coaches will also host recipes on their websites. Personally, on my social media, I have like a whole meal ideas highlight that's just dedicated to meal ideas. But on top of it, there is a metabolic balance like recipes, a Facebook group that has thousands of members, and there's endless recipes. So there's definitely endless ideas when it comes to being creative with your recipe options, for sure.
Beautiful.
But it's not in the plan, not like in the paper plan, unfortunately.
Right.
There's just like you can imagine you have a list with protein, like then you can see fish, poultry, meat, whatever might be your protein, right? It's like, not everybody has everything, but there's a protein list, and then the category fish has then all the different fish kinds that the client is allowed to eat. Same with carbohydrates. We have the veggies, we have the fruits, and sometimes we have some starches, and rye bread is also allowed for almost everybody because that's the only grain that doesn't spike the insulin as much, just as a little side note. And we also recommend kinds of fat that a client is supposed to eat. Yeah, so it's a list, right? But it's all like an ingredient list, and then you can just look for nice recipes for chicken, and then the veggies, and you just choose your veggies that you have on your plan. That's pretty much.
Excellent. Well, this is a good little overview of sort of how metabolic balance works. But can I come over to you, Jen, again, and get a bit more insight about how this changed your practice? Because you said it was a really stark transformation over the last couple of years. So what has that change been like for you in transitioning your practice to just focusing on metabolic balance?
Yeah. Honestly, it's fun. The program has been life-changing for so many of my clients and literally life-changing for me. I never really, it's funny how sometimes things just unfold the way they've been meant to. Like I said, I think everything was just a stepping stone leading me here. I've done several, forms of nutritional counseling and fitness and stuff, and that kind of led me to here. Now I've paired with the system. So when I first became a metabolic balance coach, then I kind of built out this system, like this 6-month package. And this is what I share with you or with the new coaches, is all of the templates and everything. So the program itself is phenomenal. It's life-changing. I've seen outstanding results. But then once you actually have a system, like a duplicatable system that you can implement in your practice, it makes the ability to onboard clients with ease. So that in the meantime, you can onboard clients with ease, you can support them, but you can also grow your business. When you're spending hours every day supporting a client or trying to write out meal plans, it doesn't give you that time and that opportunity to focus on the next steps, which is your growth. I've been so fortunate. I'm used to having a very, very full-time job. I actually work less hours. I'm more productive. And from an income standpoint, it actually exceeds any position I've ever had in the past. So, which isn't always the case for nutritionists, right? We do what we do because we love it, but sometimes to have like a really viable income can be difficult. So fortunately, I've come to a position where I'm able to do what I love. And it's also grown to a point where it is a really good income standpoint. And because I now offer everything virtually, I can work from home, which is great having a family, right? I get the kids at the door and home when they get home from school, but also traveling, right? I've traveled for, I've always enjoyed traveling. I'm actually heading out in the morning. And so I can work from anywhere as well. So offers a lot of flexibility that way. So yes, it's been really, really rewarding. And yeah, I'd love to, if anyone is interested in learning a little bit more about my journey, I'd love to connect, but there's a great opportunity to really impactfully help people as well as generate a substantial income for yourself, which you deserve that.
I do find, especially, I'll say with newer graduates, that there can be a bit of that block between being able to help people and work as a nutritionist and this thought that maybe there's not very much money in that, or that they're going to have to settle for a particular wage or hourly rate, or knowing that there's going to be so much work behind the scenes that, they're capped with how much income that they can make. So I do see that as a bit of a limiting belief for a lot of nutritionists. So it's nice to hear you say that with this system in place, then it gives you that freedom to do more of the other things that you want to do in your life while still supporting yourself financially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think it's time to break through that barrier because it is quite realistic, without putting exact numbers. It's quite realistic to earn a 6-figure income and do what you love. And so being able to pair the two together is really, it's ultimate, so that you can leverage your time, you can feel really good about what you do, but you can also support your family or, your goals or whatever what your future holds.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Are you able to share a little bit about what that system is? We did have a question that came in asking about if Metabolic Balance provides initial intake forms or if you do that individually. So maybe we can start there. And then if you maybe want to walk people through what some of those systems are that you would recommend.
Yeah, I mean, I can start, Jen, and then you just take over.
Yeah. If you wanted to hop in, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have everything pretty much to, like, you could start today. We have our personal profile form where the client fills out, the basic data. We have the requisition form where they can get the blood work done. We have our legal agreements, consent form, and privacy policy. And then we have some templates. If somebody doesn't have a terms of sales, for example, because you gotta have that as a business owner, and the coaches are most likely self-employed because they have their own business. So there's a few things that they should have in place, and we have all that also as templates made by lawyers, so they can just take it and bring it to their lawyer and make changes as they want. And that's the basic set pretty much. We have advertising material, we keep that up to date, and we send a starter package out And then you can just print and design your own advertisement material if you like, but we can also help with that as long as the corporate identity is not, mixed up or the colors are changed. The coaches are really free to do whatever they like, pretty much. Yeah, and then it's totally up to the coaches what they want to do, how far they want to get into email marketing, how far they want to get into CRM systems, or even programs for invoicing and stuff like that. And that's all where we have another team in the background, which is also included with Jen, and then we have Ashley, who is really almost in our team now, like for good, because she's our tech support, and she's the one knowing all those forms and all those new amazing tools in the computer world. Just because nothing for me. Without her, I couldn't have done it. We are using Dubsado for our CRM system, or Practice Better. There is multiple programs that work. Flowdesk for email marketing, but there's also Aweber and tons of other things. It's totally up to the coaches, but we can help with certain programs. Yes. Jen, if you want to add to that.
This is actually one of the things I loved when I got started. Before I became a metabolic balance coach, I had a whole list of questions for Vera. And really, at the end, every question offered a lot of flexibility. Like, it was like, yeah, there's certain things that are really just completely in your control, and you can kind of take the reins of your business, but there's also so much provided to you. So you can just, you can kind of take all of it and then just kind of modify or whatever you need to do to make it fit within your system or within your practice. So yes, from the very beginning, from your client intake forms, privacy policy, consent forms, all of that's done. And then I took it a step further and I created packages for once you onboard your client. So all that stuff is to onboard your client. They need the requisition form to get their labs done, which is signed off already by the doctor in advance. They need to sign the consent form. I've created simple things like prep sheets, a handful of items that your clients will want to have before they get started. Like Vera mentioned, there's lots of options when it comes to invoicing, payments. That's all up to you how you want to offer that. And then that's what the business course does for you, is it walks you through exactly how to support your clients. So like the first package you will send them will have that rec form, consent form. Then we created a getting started guide for your clients. So when your clients are about to start on their plan, once you've explained their plan, which you'll be well educated on how to do so, then there's a whole package of like frequently asked questions, so on and so forth. It just walks you through everything step by step. But ultimately, you have a lot of freedom and flexibility to use what you wish and make it your own.
Beautiful. Are you able to share a little bit what that system is for you, like the customer journey that you bring them through during that 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially it starts with I always start with an initial consultation. So usually somebody will message me, I'll connect, they've been a referral, whatever means of connecting with this person. Oftentimes they'll just send me literally over social media or through a friend, whatever it might be. My website is actually still being built. Interestingly, I've come this far and my website still isn't even up. So it just goes to show if you don't have a website, you really actually don't fully need it. I just decided I'm adding one now to be able to even do more of a lead capture system. But anyway, so you connect with them and I always book an initial consultation. So absolutely, I really look forward to the opportunity to be a part of your health journey. Let's book an initial consultation. I personally don't charge for initial consultations because 95% of the time these consultations will turn into to them being a client. As soon as I've booked them in, I've secured their date, their time, they're booked in for their consultation, I send them my metabolic balance information video. I'm more than happy to send that to you. I can link it. So this is probably the most useful tool that I've created. It's under 20 minutes. It fully explains the metabolic balance program and it fully explains exactly what it looks like working with me. So there's an exact outline of our appointments together, how long we're working together, the expectation from the client. They know the program, they know that they have to get their blood work done, so on and so forth. So what's great is I encourage them to watch this video prior to our call. When you have the call, that piece is done. So not only do they understand the program, the outline of consultations, which I'm happy to go through with you, but the price is right there too. And that's what's kind of nice. Like I said before, you're not sending one invoice at a time for like your hourly fee. It's literally one set price. It's already listed. They're very aware. What I also like about the video, if anyone has the opportunity to watch it, as you're going through and you really start to see all that's included in the plan, your requisition form for your labs, your custom nutrition plan from the doctors in Germany, your coaching. I include a scale for my clients. So I use a Renpho bioimpedance scale, which is really simple. I ship it to them through Amazon. So I think sometimes they're formulating a price like, oh my goodness, what's this program going to cost? And I think by the time they get to the end of the video, they're quite happy. They're like, wow, okay, great. Like, this is exciting. Some people, depending on your credentials, are able also to provide practitioner receipts where clients can claim through benefits as well. That just really depends on your status and if you're registered, so on and so forth. We can chat a little bit more about that. So that being said, the initial consultation is really a dive into their health goals. I really do that initial consultation on listening and understanding. I just have them tell me, prior to their consultation, they've been thinking, okay, I have this meeting tomorrow. Like, what are all of the things I want to make sure she knows about me and that I'm really looking to accomplish, right? So the beginning is just really listening, and then you take everything that they've told you and you use that as to why this program is going to be beneficial, why you're going to be the best one to be able to support them. Then we go through, making sure they had an opportunity to watch the videos. If there's any questions that they had about the system or the process, again, you're with me for 6 months. This isn't short term. And then from there, assuming that you've, answered their questions, you've gotten them really excited, then I dive right into the intake form on the initial consultation. So the process moving forward, we'll do the intake form. I'll send you the rec form for labs. And then once I have all of the information, the results from your labs, all of the information on the intake form, I will create a profile for you, which gets sent to head office in Germany. They will create the plan. The turnaround time is fantastic. This is what's great, because when people are looking to get started, they're eager, they're excited, they want to start right away. Usually from the time I personally will say from the time they get labs, I can have their plan in about 3 days. So turnaround is great. Then I will let them know that we're going to meet over Zoom, so this is if we haven't already met over Zoom. A lot of times I'll do an initial consultation over the phone. This is optional. You can meet over Zoom or you can meet over the phone. Sometimes I just find when clients are talking over the phone and not over Zoom, it just gives them opportunity to just really think, right? They want to thinking about all of the information. They want to make sure that they convey everything that's really important to them. So I tend to start with the initial phone consults, because then you can also make notes at the same time. So I have my speakerphone and I'm making notes on their intake form or writing or whatever it might be. Then we'll meet over Zoom. I will share my screen with them. I'll walk them through their plan, page by page, step by step, make sure they fully understand, go through any questions. From there, I will send them their plan. I will send them that getting started guide I was telling about, links to recipe books, just get them really comfortable and started. From there, whatever their start date is, I let them know we're going to remain really closely connected. So like Vera was just telling you, there's a CRM system called Dubsado. Dubsado is a system I just started using that actually is automated. So all of these things that I do moving forward for the 6 months are through an automated system. Prior, it was that old school pen to paper. I was personally emailing them on day one. Okay, today's day one, today's day two, and now I have this system that will actually kind of just remind them like, okay, tomorrow's the starting day, here's your first check-in. And so the schedule of appointments is I stay really closely connected with my clients those first couple of weeks while they're starting their plan and getting adjusted, touch points, check in, make sure they're doing well. I personally do weekly accountability check-ins with my clients. I coach in what I call the 4 pillars of health: nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management. So we'll do weekly accountability check-ins on how they're doing with their nutrition plan and their pillars of health. And then we will do meetings throughout the 6 months. So we'll review their plan. We'll meet just after a couple of weeks to go through the next phase. We will do weekly accountability check-ins until their 3-month 4 pillars meeting, where we'll discuss their overall progress, and then weekly accountability check-ins until their 6-month meeting as well. In between, should they need anything outside of those weekly check-ins, if they're struggling, they need to hop on a call, I do make that available. It's very rare. There's usually plenty of accountability structure throughout that 6-month process, but just kind of making yourself available should they need you is helpful too.
Yeah, it's nice now with a lot of these different CRM options to be able to automate so much of that. It gives you a lot more scalability as a practitioner. We were talking about meal planning and what a huge amount of effort it used to be. I don't know how long you've been practicing, Jen, but I've been around long enough. Like at the beginning, I was doing meal plans by hand and trying to calculate all the different amounts for people to eat and how to shop for things. And it took so much time on the back end. So having tools like this, like you said, with Metabolic Balance, where it's just spitting it out for you. Now you can automate a system with a 6-month program where it's emailing your clients for you. So that's more hands-off. It gives you so much more ability to help more people. Right. And then back to that income point, then that's more scalable for you as well to be able to support yourself and your family and the lifestyle that you want to have.
Honestly, that's exactly it. So just much like yourself, and probably a lot of people could resonate. So for example, being a personal trainer at one point, as a personal trainer, you get paid for the hour. So let's just say it was $75 for the hour. Well, then the gym is taking half of that, right? So you're only making like, let's even call it a little more than half, $30, $40 for that hour. But in that hour, you're training your client. Outside of that hour, you're working on their nutrition plan. Then you're checking their MyFitnessPal. Then they're following up because they're texting you with questions. All of a sudden, your income is it's not substantial, but then all of the time it takes to do all of those steps and all of those things because you're passionate. You genuinely want to see these people that you're working with succeed. But at the end of the day, then that can be extremely challenging. So now so much of that hard part is done for you. You can really focus on the coaching, supporting them through their plan, and you can absolutely generate an income for yourself that you can feel excited about. It allows for a lot of opportunity.
It's maybe interesting to say that we have a set price. There's a minimum price everybody has to charge. So there's no, oh, I feel bad to charge this. It's set from us. So they have to set. But then, of course, the coaches can charge more. So then the minimum price, just because I'm sure interesting, is $999. That includes the meal plan, the blood work, and 5 hours of consultation. The cost for the coach is $400 plus tax, which includes the meal plan and the blood work, because we get the lab work, lab invoice, and also all for the meal plan invoice. So 160 for the meal for the lab work and 240 for the meal plan makes 400 as the cost. Let's say the coaches charge 1,000. Like I said, the 999 is the minimum. Then they would end up making 600 for 5 hours of work, because the 5 hours is what they basically have, right? So I would say the average is 1,300 that the coaches charge. And now you can do your calculation based on, like Jen has a minimum of 10 clients a month, so or more, right? So it's amazing. It's just amazing, and it's so valuable for them. And even for the $999, it would be totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that information is really valuable if you're considering becoming a coach. You need to know those numbers. So absolutely, yeah. I think I agree. The average is around the 1,300. I personally charge $1,299, which, like I mentioned before, when you're going through that video and you realize all that's included for that price point, it's a fantastic price point for everything that's included. And I do onboard anywhere from 10 to 20 clients per month.
Wow. That's excellent. How much, you mentioned mostly working when your kiddos are at school. So for 10 to 20 clients a month, what does that look like for a work week for you? How much of your own time and effort are you putting out there for 10 to 20 clients?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I will say in the beginning, while we were developing the systems and the templates and the automations, I was putting effort into all of those systems, which will now be provided. And so that on top of it, but now that those systems are in place, it really allows me the opportunity to just focus on coaching. So I would say, yes, my children are in school, so I do a lot of my appointments during the day. I do evening appointments. It's the nature of the business that you will run into clients who are just aren't available in the day. But I was used to working easily like 45-hour work weeks, and it's probably 25-ish hour work weeks now. So, I mean, it's tricky because when you get excited, even when I'm not helping clients, I'm like thinking about like my next, like social media post or something that I can do to like continue to grow the business. But when you're excited about it, it's just when you do what you love, it's not work, right? So
Yeah.
I'd say actual meetings, I'm able to mostly work within those work, like the work week hours. And then I do my accountability check-ins on Fridays with my clients. So that's kind of Fridays are reserved for that during the day. And then I do a handful of evening appointments as well.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's so helpful to know. And again, to my point earlier, there is often a lot of like limiting beliefs around how much you have to work for how much you make. So it's so nice to hear tangibly how that's working for you. I like that you said that it was a little more effort in the beginning, because certainly setting up any business, it does take some work, and you do have to want it and put that effort in. But so awesome that that's rewarding you in so many great ways.
Yeah, thank you. It has been really rewarding. And again, it was one of those things I didn't expect or realize that it was going to grow to what it has today. So it's been even more rewarding in that regard.
So I did have one last question that was sent in advance. And you sort of touched on this a little bit at the beginning, Jen, when you said that there isn't like a specific supplement brand or other products that you're selling to your clients. So this person had written in, do coaches only make money by selling the program, or is there some sort of recruiting or team building that's required as well? So they were wondering if there's like incentive. I think this is sort of sneaking towards like, is this an MLM type structure?
It's not. And that's actually one of the things I do appreciate, because you really are able to run your business how you see fit. So, with network marketing or MLM, there's typically a lot of rules, restrictions, just kind of the way things have to be. So you have a lot more freedom and flexibility. Vera absolutely does offer a very good referral fee. So if you refer other coaches to her, she'll give you a referral fee, which is fantastic. So there can be an income generated there. But it is not, the intention is not to build a team. So the intention is not to build people who are doing the work and then it's all trickling up. That's really not the intention. It's actually to build those like wholesome client relationships with your clients. The work part is done. Like you don't have to spend hours trying to come up with custom nutrition plans or anything like that. But it really is about having those authentic relationships and coaching people through to sustainable balance.
Love that. So those are all the questions that I had sent in advance. So for those of you who are still here watching live, if you do have any other questions that we haven't answered, please do pop those into the Q&A box. But for the last couple of minutes, and while I wait to see if there is any last questions that come in there, Vera, is there anything that we haven't touched on yet that you want to make sure that you share about metabolic balance?
Well, that's something I want to touch on for everybody who wants to sign up, because we do have a discount code for you guys. And it's capital M, capital B, capital F. So MB family. So it's MBF is capital, and then the rest of the word family is lowercase. That gives you $200 off the total. And yeah, we would love to work with you. If you have any questions, you can reach out. You can give out, my email address if you like, there's no problem. And we also have our landing page link where there's all more information, and there's, everything they need to know. I think we covered it all. I'm really honored to be able to work in this area with these amazing people and get the opportunity to have interviews like this and just spread the word. And yeah. Nice.
Yes. And thank you so much for offering that discount as well to our members. Obviously, $200 discount is pretty significant. It's a good chunk of a discount. So we appreciate that offer, and we'll definitely include that coupon code and your contact information along with the replay as well. So for those who are watching live, you've heard the coupon code, but we'll have the link to this replay, Vera's email address, and that discount code will all be on the replay as well. So I have one last question. Oh, this is Sabine sending in a question here. She says, if you sign up as a coach in Canada, are you also able to access content in another language like German for clients that are in another country?
Lovely question. We are in, believe it or not, 35 different countries with 16 different languages. So any kind of plan language, you can literally request, and then you can choose Italy, Turkey, Russian, whatever it might be, anything pretty much. So yes, that's possible. And it also adapts to the food lists. So you know, India has a different food list than Canada or Germany. And so it really has those common foods.
That's amazing. I was not aware of that. So thank
Yeah.
you, Sabine, for asking that question. That really does open up your ability to work with different clients then, even if the plan that's coming to you is going to be specific to their regional foods and things as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Jen, I'll come over to you. Is there anything else that you want to say about metabolic balance that we haven't covered yet?
Oh, I would definitely be willing to, if anybody has any specific questions they think of later, you're more than welcome to, I can give you my personal contact email, and if anyone has questions, they can reach out to me specifically. I'm hoping that we were able to cover, at least give a pretty good, broad range and give some insight into what the Metabolic Balance Program is all about. Yeah, like I said, I think for most people, I've probably been in similar, shoes and working, similar, maybe positions or lifestyle or jobs. And this has definitely opened up a lot of doors. But aside from how beneficial it's been for myself and just to be able to work from home and have a substantial income, the program itself is life-changing. It's amazing. And I've really come witness to incredible transformations. And a lot of it hits home. It's, again, I initially coached the people that I care about the most, right? My family, my friends. And so you want to make sure that you are offering a program that you would offer to your mom or your best friend or your sister, whoever it might be. So I think that's one of the things that you'll just feel so good about. It won't be able to it can't come off authentic and genuine if you don't 100% wholeheartedly, passionately stand by everything that you're supporting your clients through. So I think that's one of the things you'll come to love so much with this program. But then also, like Vera mentioned, just with the whole Metabolic Balance family, there's so much support, which is great.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. All right. Well, I appreciate you both being here and coming and sharing your time for this hour. You definitely have shared a little inside peek into how metabolic balance actually functions as a tool in your nutrition practice, Jen, and makes it a little bit more tangible potentially, rather than just the theory of what it could be. Talking a little bit about how you've actually applied this to your practice is really helpful. So for everyone watching here today, and then those who are watching on the replay, we do have that $200 discount that Vera so generously offered to you as members. That discount code MBFamily that she mentioned will be along with the replay as well. So you can make sure to grab that. And then it sounds like I'll include both Vera and Jen's contact info if you want to be in touch with either of them for any additional questions, then they're both available to you. So thank you to you both for being here. It was really nice to spend this time together, and hopefully you'll be adding to the Metabolic Balance family even further.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It was really, really fun. Take care. Thanks. Bye, Jen. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.